It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome to Countywide. Nice to have you with us. Today we have with us Dr. Penny Hargrove, who is the superintendent of Mingus Union High School. Lots of good stuff going on at the high school, and having a new superintendent is very exciting. Dr. Hargrove, thank you for joining us this morning.
Most definitely.
The lucky students at Mingus Union High School to have you, I must say.
I'm lucky to have them. Those are our kiddos, and I'm so excited to be with them. And the month that I've been with them, I am just thrilled to death with the clients and the students we get to serve.
Excellent, excellent. Now you've been here, as you say, a month, which is truly amazing. You're incredibly fresh. Where did you come from before this?
Actually came from Kansas. We have been in Kansas most of my life, a few different stops here and there. But my husband and I both grew up there, and then we had our family, and one of our sons moved here to Phoenix, Arizona, and it's been a tug-of-war between our son that's in Kansas and the one that's here in Arizona to say, Mom, we really want you closer to me. And so my husband is retiring this year, and we thought it was a perfect opportunity to fulfill a dream that we've had to move to this great state. And so the blessed opportunity to be here in the Verde Valley. And one of the things is Kenny moved here about 5 years ago. One of the first places that he brought us to was Jerome. And at that point, my husband and I both looked at each other and said, if we ever get the opportunity to live here, we would love to. And then the opportunity to serve Mingus and to serve Cottonwood and Cornville and Jerome and Clarkdale came up, and I was blessed to be able to have that opportunity.
That's fantastic. Now, how did you get your start in education?
Well, I started out as a science teacher for the middle school level. I taught 6th grade and 8th grade science. From there, then I became a principal and worked in a K-12 school. And I love that opportunity because it really allowed me to understand how education flows from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. From there, then we moved closer to the same son that is now here in Phoenix as he started having his children, and we moved back to the Wichita area in Kansas. And I worked in Valley Center as first middle school principal, then assistant superintendent. The last 5 years I've been up in northeast Kansas, a beautiful area up there with some rolling hills, which people don't usually, give credit or Kansas credit for having anything but flat country, and there were some beautiful hills up there. As the superintendent of Hiawatha, which is again a K-12 district, and been serving them. And then, of course, this opportunity here.
Yes, and thank goodness for that.
Definitely.
And what an amazing school.
Oh, yes.
I have to say. Mingus Union High School has been nominated an A+ School of Excellence for 3 years running.
Correct.
And you're looking to not only continue that, but to even make it better. What's the outlook for Mingus this year?
It's absolutely wonderful. We are truly working on a lot of different things, but one of the 4 things that we are working on is pride, and pride in our school, in our community, and each other has been one of the focuses that we've had. Then respect. We always think about respect, but again, respecting not only ourselves, which seems to be kind of our world we're looking at being a little too much self-centered, but don't forget that we also have to respect the community we live in, the things that we have, and the things that we will have if we take care of things. Then we're looking at attitude. There's only one thing that we have in our life that we totally have full control over, and that's our attitude. And making it positive and having something bright instead of that negative and everything's against me. And then finally, we're looking at accountability. Looking at, we've got to be accountable. Again, all of this revolves not only around ourselves, but our community, our parents, and our future, and looking at those types of things. And if we can get those 4 things instilled in our students, I think we're going to see a lot of success. We also have multiple programs that we're working on that we can visit about too. So those are our goals for this year. And with the faculty and staff that we have there, they already model those 4 things. So I think that our students are in very good shape.
Absolutely. And you've got 12 new teachers this year, is that correct?
13.
13.
We do.
Wow.
And you have those ebbs and flows of retirements and those types of things. And so, yes, this is a great opportunity to bring them into our system and mold them so that they can work with our students in the same way as our veteran teachers have done.
That's wonderful. I love that outlook of creating the human of the future, basically,
Yes.
the student that you're working with now. Respect in this country, all-time low. Accountability, all-time low.
Correct.
Attitude, if just having the child understand that attitude is completely under their control and totally paints their life. If you can get through to them at this stage with that, what a difference you're going to be making in our youth.
It is, and having pride. You know, that pride is so big, and that's one of the things that I've heard for the last several years, and it's not just here in Arizona in our schools, but it's, you know, nationwide, is that so many of our students and our communities have forgotten about supporting our schools and our students. It's kind of that negative presupposition about, well, all high school kids are bad, or all high school kids are deviants and such, and they're not. It takes a community to raise them. And so when we have pride in our students and each other, and we support them fully, then we have the systems and the structures in place to be able to move forward. Right now we've kind of lost that, and you're right. It's because of that accountability. We forget that we're not just accountable to ourselves. We're accountable to everyone around us. You know, we forget that we need to have pride in ourselves, but we need to make sure that that pride is spread and that we're supporting one another. And so those are the types of things. And respect, we could spend an entire show on respect.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
But, and then the accountability piece, that's, you know, it's really been a little bit sad, but we need to model. And I think that's where we've fallen short sometimes.
Yes.
Is if we can model as adults what we want our students and our children to be like in a positive way, then I think that's going to make a huge difference for our futures.
Absolutely. Well, Mingus Union is in good hands with you.
Thank you very
I
much.
have to say. Now, this year you've got a lot of new programs.
We do.
Coming into the school. We can briefly hit on those before we have to take a break.
All right. One of the ones that we are really honing in on is the AVID program. And AVID's been around for several years, and we're tapping into it. And what it does is it prepares our students for what they need to have, the skills they need to have to be successful, not only in post-secondary education or the military, those types of things, but in life. It teaches them how to be lifelong learners and how to study and prepare and learn in a sequential way. We have different things that all of our teachers are doing, the Cornell notes, Cornell note-taking, and you know, that's been around for a long time, and it was developed in Cornell, and it's a three-pronged approach on how to study to be able to remember and retain information. All of our teachers, including our PE teachers, our art teachers, those areas that you would think possibly that note-taking wouldn't be as big, they're doing it too. So in PE, they're learning how to do a sport. They'll look at what the skills are. Then they'll refresh on questions and the essential parts of those things, and then they'll find ways to be able to look at that information so that they can retain and remember that, not only for the test, but actually long after that test too. And so then we have our lit circles and different things that we're working on, how to critically look at information, which is sometimes we forget. We think if we can look it up on Google, Google says it's true. That's not always the case. So we teach our kids how to think critically and how to actually, you know, be skeptical about what they read and what they see, and then to look at the different perspectives of it. And sometimes we forget that because we get pretty honed in on our perspective, and we forget that somebody could think differently. And so it's the appreciation of that thinking differently, and through that we grow because we're able to think more broadly.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So
you've got to take over the country. You've got to be the superintendent of all the schools in America. You have this amazing philosophy. I really appreciate that as a parent, what you're bringing forward into Mingus Union High School this year. I absolutely appreciate that. We've got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. We've been speaking with Dr. Penny Hargrove, who is the superintendent of Mingus Union High School. More countywide. Don't go away.
So you're looking online now? Yeah, great condition. I hate to see her go, but I really just need the cash. Well, the price is still just $1,000, but you have to send the money now, right now. Well, that's why the price is so low. Like I said, I need cash fast. I can't wait on a check or money order. You have to send cash now.
The moment they ask for immediate cash is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamawareness.org.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm Jen Cohen. We've been talking with Dr. Penny Hargrove, the superintendent of Mingus Union High School. For more information on Mingus Union, go to mingusunion.com. You'll find everything you need on that beautiful website. Yes. Dr. Hargrove, again, thank you for being here. We were talking about new programs. We talked about the AVID program, which is very interesting. Let's talk about Gear Up now. Tell us about Gear Up.
Gear Up has been in place for several years. We actually worked with our students from one cohort, from middle school all the way, now they're seniors, believe it or not. It's so scary to think of. And really what Gear Up looks at is gearing up for post-secondary. So gearing up for, are we going to go to college? Are we going to go to a junior college? Are we going to go to a technical school? Are we going to go into the military? Are we going directly into the workforce? Looking at our students and seeing where their skills lie and where their interests lie so that when they leave high school, they're fully prepared to be successful adults, which of course is our goal, is to be able to do that. Now, although it's the last year for this and our students are going through all the processes to be successful, we are continuing that program. And we're looking at making sure that our focus is making our students really productive adults through college and career readiness. Over 60% of our professions right now require post-secondary. That's pretty surprising.
Yes.
Although only 30% of our population, a little over 30%, actually have post-secondary. So thus the need for those skilled laborers. And so what we're going to be working on is, again, working with the middle schools in both Cottonwood and Clarkdale and making sure that our students are identified and where their interests are, where their skill levels are. Where their work ethics at, to be able to fulfill that. The goal is truly to find those things that will bring them back home. Because we need our kids to come back home. And I'm going to apologize, but I have a tendency to call them my babies. So sometimes I may slip up with that, but truly when you care, you kind of have those little sayings.
Absolutely.
But we're going to be working on that and looking at programs and collaboratively working with our other school districts and our feeder school districts to make these things happen for our kids.
Where do you think the disconnect is? If 60% of the jobs require post-secondary, yet only 30%, what's happening there?
You know, our focus truly has been, with No Child Left Behind, with getting them to graduate. When you have that and you're really interested more in a test score, you're not looking at preparing those kids for life. And I know that is truly a philosophy issue because it can be argued either way. Test scores can be important, but they're one indicator and they generally are very marginal indicators. And if we were all judged by a test score, we would never be able to know what we truly are interested in. Because math and language arts are not a career. They are parts of a career. So now as we look at that whole child and we look at where those interests are and what they can become, and if we focus more on those areas, then we have the success for our students. If we focus on the areas that are necessary within our communities, and we build that pride again, I know I keep coming back to that, but that pride and that accountability, then our kids will find their futures and their niche within the community for which they live, and then we'll be able to blossom.
Oh my gosh,
and so that's where we will be. And so that's really our focus. Now with that said, I have to say that part of that is giving our children experiences within the community in those career fields. So for instance, Before we got on, I had the unique opportunity to watch Rich as he was on the radio and talking. And so we'll work with our companies to be able to give our kids those same experiences, because we may have a future DJ out there. You know, we may have a future newswoman out there somewhere, and we want them to be able to work with you so they can see what that career is, to build that interest and to build that positive attitude towards this is what I could be someday.
Absolutely. It's such an amazing thing to see. The ability for the school in the Mingus and under your direction to channel these children into their best selves.
Right.
I did not have that. My school was like, yeah, whatever, you pass by. They didn't care. I came out of school with no direction, going, well, none of this stuff I want to do, so I just won't do anything. You know, and it took me many, many years to find myself. If I had been under the direction of someone such as yourself, life would have been totally different. You know, who knows, though I love where my life is, don't get me wrong, but to have that direction, and as a parent, to see my child wandering around going, oh my God, test scores in math, right now she's totally in it. I completely agree with you on the philosophy that a test score is not a child. That is not who they are. And the programs that you've got at Mingus, guiding them in the direction of their best selves, fantastic. I love it.
And I'm going to clarify one thing. This is not me. This is our team. We have a team of teachers and a team of administrators and board members that truly believe the philosophy that we need to look at our children as individuals and who they can become, not the test score that they can produce. And so that's really the philosophy of the entire team. I just get the great privilege to be able to come out and talk about it and be the leader of that program.
Excellent. Now, let's talk about something real quick before we have to take another break, the continuation of the override.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Critically important, because that's some of those programs that are helping our kids determine who they are. Those are our arts programs, and if you've looked at it, we also are recognized for our fine arts department, for our theatrical department, for our sports teams. We've had some success in those areas too. And so those are part of becoming that whole child. Those programs are in jeopardy without this override. We desperately need that continued support. And it's been going on for decades because we've had a community that cares and loves our kids and wants them to be able to experience different aspects of life too. And so it's critically important. And I always have to say that I can't tell you how to vote, but I do really ask you to vote. And vote in the hearts of the children. We're asking for $33 a year if you have a home that's $133,000. We talked earlier about the fact that when you look at that, that's one Starbucks every 2 months.
Right.
And that's not a lot to ask. We understand there's individuals that are on fixed incomes, but you know, look at the children, because someday, at some point, there was another older person who helped you. Because of their tax dollars they provided for your education too. And so it's that community, that accountability, that pride in our community and our children, if everyone has it, to be able to support this.
Absolutely. You're paying it forward for the success of your community. If you don't support your children, you're not supporting the root of your community as they grow into something else, to take care of you, to serve you, to be your doctor, to be the grocery store person, whomever. If you don't support them to getting to that point, you have nothing. So if you look at it, you're supporting your community. Don't narrow it down to it's just the kids.
Exactly.
Think about it's the future of the community that you live in, that we need this. So November 7th is when the vote is. That's going up to choose whether to continue the override, which, you know, average person about $33 a year is what it's going to cost, and that's the day to vote.
And that is the day of the vote. That's the final day. However, they are a mail-in ballot. And so the week of October 16th, those will be mailed out to the community members who are, and we ask that you fill it out and send it in on the 17th. You don't have to worry about it. It's done and it's complete.
Great. Okay, we're talking to Dr. Penny Hargrove, the superintendent of Mingus Union High School. Check out mingusunion.com. We've got more countywide coming back. We've got more things to talk about, so don't go away.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. This is Sue from Disaster Relief. We're calling neighbors statewide to get help for storm victims. Children, lost parents, homes. You can. Oh, thank you. But could you send the money now? The need is urgent. We so appreciate you. It means so much, but it has to be now. It has to be cash. No credit cards, checks, just cash.
The moment they ask for immediate cash is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamawareness.org.
Schools have a big problem. Every year, millions of kids come to class with nothing. So teachers end up spending thousands of dollars of their own money just to make sure kids have what they need to learn. I'm the school supply fairy. My assistant and I do what we can. But we could really use your help.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm Jen Cohen. We're talking with Dr. Penny Hargrove, the superintendent of Mingus Union High School. Just a few minutes left in Countywide. We were talking about the continuation override, which is a continuation of a program that's already in place. We talked about the $33 for the average household. That is not an increase.
No.
That is something that's already been going on for years, correct?
For over 30.
For over 30.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely. And it is not additional taxes. Mm-hmm. It's the same as it's always been. And that's what we're asking, and that's why it's continuation of that. Cottonwood Oak Creek is also in the same situation. They're asking for an override increase for theirs too. Again, none of this is new. Mm-hmm. It's always been in place, and we're just asking for that to continue to be in place to support the programs that we've had and want to continue to have.
Right. So it's already been going on. It's already been in place. It's already been rolled into the taxes. This isn't anything new. This is just a vote to continue that program so that the children can continue to have arts and sports in school. Now let's talk about sports and Mingus.
Oh, yes.
Go Marauders, the football team. Woo! Of course you have the football, and there's volleyball, and there's golf, and there's wrestling. What an amazing
and there's
program.
Swimming, and we have several throughout. So really, it goes with the interest. What interest do our students have, and what interest do our community have to come support those? Because that's very important, and that's that modeling that we want to show that we support our kids and showing that pride. And believe it or not, that's one of the things that I've been asked to work on. Because some of the community involvement has gone down over the last few years. And we want our community there on Friday nights and on Thursday nights when we have volleyball. And out by the golf course, I got the great opportunity to watch our golf team last week. And they were very impressive. And as a person who would like to be a golfer or aspiring to be, I was extremely envious of what their skills are. So yes, we encourage that. Our first home game is going to be on Friday.
All right.
And so please come and see that. The community has supported not only academics but the athletics and all those extracurricular for years. One of the examples of that is the new wrestling room that we're going to be able to open. We actually finished the punch list yesterday. And so we have 3 new classrooms that are coming on that we're going to have our Spanish students in. And then we have this great new wrestling room that we're going to be able to showcase.
Fantastic.
So again, that's all with the community support because they provided those bond funds to be able to build that building, which was sadly needed, but most definitely is going to be something that the community can be very proud of.
Absolutely. And I know for the past number of years since I've been in the Verde Valley, all I've heard about is Mingus Union football, the amazing football team you guys have. Friday night football, nothing more American than that. Come out, cheer on your team, support them with their booster clubs and their fundraisers and all the other. The kids need sports. Sports is an excellent outlet for them. Without sports, they'd all be on their computers all day long, playing on their iPads. And what kind of human beings would we have?
Correct.
So we need our sports program, and we need to support them so that the kids do a much better job when we're there rooting them on.
And I tell you what, a great shout out to the parents who provided too. We have now a football tunnel for our players to come through. And it was very emotional when they practiced that a couple of weeks ago to see the excitement in them in there. And then we have a new mascot too. So please come out Friday night and see all of that excitement, because it's going to be a great opportunity to celebrate all of our great things.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been wonderful speaking with you. We've been speaking with Dr. Penny Hargrove, the new superintendent at Mingus Union High School, fresh from Kansas. So good to have you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Check out mingusunion.com. On there, you're going to find everything you need. That's all the time that we have for Countywide. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.